So the tennis serve at all levels is going to be easier to execute when the ball is struck below the apex. This gives us more time to execute the quite difficult movement of the racket, where the racket needs to go in and then out on the hitting side of the body. This is a movement that is very tricky and it is very unique to a tennis serve. So in order to execute this movement properly, a higher toss will give us more time to do so. Once you feel more comfortable with the toss, you can actually go back to the baseline and do the same thing from back here. You'll notice that you'll have to hit the ball a little bit harder. And then once you have gotten comfortable with that, now we go to phase 2, which is that we're going to drop the racket down towards the ground and execute the same movement. So the difference here is that the racket will have to go up to the trophy phase before it starts to drop. So we're going to, instead of starting at the trophy position, we're going to start at the bottom, toss the ball up, and then execute the serve. So when you do this movement, you are building a lag into your serve. And the big advantage of the lag is that you're separating the toss movement from the hitting arm movement. So the up together serve is a lot more tricky because you have to toss and take the racket back at the same time. And when you set your racket down here, you can focus on the toss first and then the movement of the racket. This is a lot easier to execute for most players. And it's one possible reason why the vast majority of professional players uses the lag. So the next step in the progression is that we are going to introduce a full service motion. So we can't serve from here. We are going to miss out on momentum. So what you need to do is connect the hitting hand and the toss hand inside the court. And we can call this step 1. You're also going to have the weight on your front foot. From here, you're going to shift the weight onto the back foot. We're going to call this step 2. Now step 3, we're going to do 2 things simultaneously. We're going to take the racket back and initiate the toss while at the same time starting to shift the weight onto the front foot. So from here we start to bring our racket up into the trophy phase, and then we execute our racket drop and we make contact at the ball with a full extension of the arm. Now the next step in the progression is that we can start using our body to help the arm out. And one thing we can do is that we can toss the ball slightly inside the court. We can also get on our toes and bend our knees.